Hello, hello, Timberwolves fans. Welcome into Talkin Twolves. I am your host, Garrett Gilbertson, along with Kevin Stanky, the two biggest Timberwolves fans north of the Metro. Kevin, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, it was a hard-fought battle, but you know, it was Timberwolves basketball tonight.
I would say it wasn't hard fought, maybe in the first half, but not so much the second half. Um, LA played pretty unbelievable tonight.
LA,
um,
LA, what?
they played
LA Clippers,
pretty unbelievable.
the LA Pretty Unbelievables.
The pretty unbelievable Clippers of LA. They were amazing. The Wolves, they played a good game. They had amazing turnovers in the first half and the second half. They kept it going. Um, the points off turnovers is what's been making them one of the better defensive teams in the league so far, but it wasn't working tonight. What? How did the game start? How did the Wolves come out of the gate tonight?
Well, it was good to see Cat wanting to work down low in the first quarter, especially the first possession uh, we saw him with Paul George down in the post down low and him winning that battle, coming right back down and winning another post battle, and looking to get him down active in the post no matter what. And when he was getting double teamed, he was finding the guys who were leaving the player open. And so you like to see that from him, and that ability and that want to just get him active early in the first quarter. So
And
that's what I
the
saw
Clippers
early in the
weren't
game.
shying away from Carl Anthony Towns tonight too. They were doubling him almost every time.
Well, it was interesting too because they were never putting their center on him. They're never putting Zubac on him, and so they saw Towns looking to take advantage of that any chance he got. And whenever anybody but the 7-foot center on their team was manning him up, he was taking the post no matter who was guarding him, and they gave that to him, and he was often finding somebody open for a three, and they weren't falling necessarily early, but they still kept it respectable in the first and second quarters.
Yeah. Quick, let's talk about the starting lineup tonight. In was Okogie, right? For D'Lo. Um, and Vanderbilt still started, correct, along with Carl, Anthony Edwards, and Patrick Beverly.
Yeah, we saw Okogie in there in the lineup, and of course, we hope to see Russell back as soon as possible, but it's showing where there's some vulnerability in the lineup. And without D'Angelo Russell, there's not a lot of offensive firepower in the one or two positions, which are, the where you can kind of interchange in between those positions. It's nice to have Beverly out there with him, but,
It was nice
without
to
him
have
on the floor,
Beverly. Oh, go ahead.
without him on the floor, it was definitely something that it would nice to see some of those outside shots being made tonight, which didn't
And
fall for the Wolves.
that's kind of my big question of this starting lineup. When you have D'Lo out, yeah, it makes sense for Beverly to start, not just because they're playing his old team in LA, but it doesn't make sense to have a Kogi start when you need that offensive spark plug without D'Lo, right? And Carl and Anthony Edwards both played an unbelievable first half, points wise, right? But I just feel like at this time with Malik Beasley struggling off the bench, I would have liked this opportunity to see him start and see if he could get hot early, and instead of save him to come off the bench and hope that he's got his shot finally tonight, which he did and didn't tonight. Um, so you're still at that waiting period of, is Malika going to find his shot, start draining threes like we're used to him from last year? But I think it would be big to put him in the starting lineup and try and change something, get something to click here.
Well, it's interesting to see Beasley hitting 27 minutes tonight. He's hitting
Yeah,
4 of 8 from the 3-point line. So if you see 50%, 14
50
points,
percent.
50 percentage points. And but he was also negative 22 when he was on the floor tonight too. So he's coming in with the bench players and getting those bench minutes, but still you think that's a good easy opportunity for him to get some plus minus. So it might be, I mean, looking at the plus minuses tonight, it's almost looking like the bench is the issue here. And not a lot of pluses, with a 11-point loss, but McDaniels, Edwards coming out in the plus column tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okogie only ended up getting 11 minutes, so
Yeah, he didn't play that much other than in the first quarter and then in the fourth quarter a little bit, but
he had some opportunities. They got him some looks down low early for some passes that he kind of just bungled up when he could have, most NBA players would have grabbed him and put him in for an easy two. So
he did come out of halftime and scored 9 points consecutively. Like he made 2 threes and then had an and one that he made. So like he came out of halftime and started, and when Finch went back to that starting lineup, and he was actually a great efficient shooter. Had 2 open look threes right away, but it's not enough. He plays great defense. With D'Lo out, we need that third scoring punch, and we just haven't found it yet, right?
yeah, I mean, it's without him, there's no real third scorer, and I think that's where this team's going to have a hard time.
I wish that the Wolves had a player like Nick Batum right now, because that guy couldn't miss 3-pointers tonight. We put a hand in his face. McDaniels had a couple good defensive plays, and he just shot it right over his hand and drained it. Couldn't miss.
Well, and we've talked on the show before about how the Wolves have a deficit at the 4 position, at the power forward position, and maybe they should start shopping around, looking, seeing where that. You look at a team like the Washington Wizards, they got power forwards and Rui Hachimura, Kyle Kuzma, Davis Bertans, Deni Ajiva. I mean, they're 4 deep at the power forward position. I feel like Davis Bertans could be somebody that they could be had, and he's got a big contract, but
he's got a big contract, but he's exactly what they need, kind of a good shooter.
Yeah.
Who can stretch the floor other than Cat.
So if there's a way to get a player like him, that would be advantageous for the Wolves. But, when it comes to watching this game tonight, I feel like you and I were texting about how Secret Agent Beverly was coming out for the Clippers. We're going 6-on-4 right when they were trying to pull it in. I feel like that, just being a dick for being the case of being a dick is not it's not a good move. I feel like that there could have been we saw the play where he got the technical foul and then he threw the inbound pass, and it basically just gave the Clippers the ball. And how is he not playing for the other team at that point?
Right? No, there were some boneheaded plays there. It was unfortunate to see him make them and make you question.
I think it's part of a long con.
Yeah, it's a long play. Who's the owner?
I didn't like to see that, and the antics from Beverly. At this point, they're getting a little wild, and you like to see him help the squad, but maybe not get a technical every game.
Yeah.
That would be helpful.
Like to see him energize the defense with his play and not so much his antics.
Tonight was definitely a deflation. That was a defining moment, I feel like, of the fourth quarter. I believe you texted me right before that play and said,
Hmm.
hey, this is a close game. And then that happened. And then I said, Pat Bev is playing for the other team right now,
Yep.
even though he looks like he's wearing a Timberwolves jersey, but he seems like he's scoring for the other team.
He's helping them then more than he's helping us.
And
Yeah.
and if that didn't happen, I don't know that the Timberwolves could have won the game, but um, it certainly did not help the situation that happened. And I think that you can easily pinpoint that as why the Timberwolves lost the game, because they did have some momentum. We were both excited, I believe, at one point to do this podcast, and I don't think that we are anymore.
I'm I'm deflated after two bad losses, you know? It's like, man, they look promising, but then D'Lo got hurt and we had to play against the Magic and watch them come back in the fourth quarter. And there was
Yeah,
nothing we could do. And then tonight, uh, the Clippers made an obnoxious amount of three pointers. How many did they have? 21 on the game. They were 21 of 36, almost 60% from the three. Like that's crazy. And we just have to sit through it like we always have, right? But so speaking of D'Lo going out in the last game, there was a point in this game tonight that I got super nervous when Anthony Edwards, I think, banged knees with Reggie Reggie Jackson, I think it was.
yeah, Mr. October was banging bats against those knees, and
A couple bats banging.
and that was a scary moment, but good to see him come back in the second half and recover from that. It's rare to
Yeah.
see a player like him call for a sub, and
Mhm.
that's what we saw from him. He needed the sub, but he did stick with the play. They showed the replay, and it looked like he banged his knees and still tried to stick with the defensive play, and see his play stop. They did. The other team saw that was something they could exploit in that half court game at that moment. So
Right.
you couldn't let that continue, and they scored on him, and he got himself out of the game, and that's good on him, because he's don't let yourself be a liability out there when you're hurt, and if you just had 10 minutes to stretch it out, you could be back out there 100%, like we saw out of him in the second quarter. I noticed him, and there was one sequence. I even took a little note of it. He made a three. He missed the three, but he made it up with a steal right off that rebound. He got a nifty layup and a solid defensive stop,
Mhm.
and then he got a sweet assist to Nas right after that, and he had an and one. I don't remember if Nas converted that, but he puts together those sequences.
Yeah.
He's not 100% perfect player, but he's in his second year. He's 20 years old, and he's got all the gifts to be a number one
I mean,
player. I think in the
he
West, and
he
in
led
the
the
whole
team in
league.
points tonight. He played with high energy all night, and heart, which we love. I'd like to see his rebounding get a little bit better, but you can't complain about scoring 28 a night average and having a handful of rebounds and assists. This is a young guy who has unbelievable talent and a great attitude towards the game. I think that you know only the sky is the limit.
He's not scoring. If he's missing buckets, he finds ways to impact the game. He finds ways to be the player, to make up for his deficiencies. If you're not hitting offensively, there's ways to still affect the game, and he does that. He gets those steals, he
Yep.
gets those swarm defensive plays, and he converts all his free throws. It was just 3 for 3 tonight, but it was 100%,
Mm-hmm.
6 assists. Quite a few more
No,
turnovers than you like to see from a player.
yeah, 6 turnovers tonight.
It's kind of a glaring deficiency tonight. So
Well, what does coach have to do to change things? Well, we got another game against the Clippers coming up on Friday.
yeah, I don't think it's going to get any easier. Not going to get any easier than playing the Orlando Magic. And then you lose to them basically in the fourth quarter, essentially, and then you come to the Clippers, you battle them for 3.5 quarters, maybe 2.5 quarters, and just kind of let things go. So I think the only chance they could have, we don't know what D'Lo's status is right now. He might be coming back next game. He might be taking a week off. We don't know. So that would be the only real difference maker there. Otherwise, other than hoping that the 3-point percentage for the Clippers comes back to, something more reasonable. But it sounds like I was watching a Clippers broadcast for a lot of the game. It sounds like they're regressing up to the mean. So we might still have some more trending to go for the Clippers. I don't know. Unless D'Lo comes back, I can't imagine wanting to watch the next game, to be honest with you.
I'm going to watch it, and I'm hoping to enjoy it because the last 2 games have not been enjoyable. But it could get real bad really quick here if the Wolves aren't careful. Like, they got to win Friday against the Clippers because they go against Memphis on the road. They go against Golden State and then the Lakers. So this is going to be a tough road trip we got ahead of us.
Yeah,
this was a game they needed.
Pretty crazy to look back at the beginning of the season, just, like a month ago or so, looking back at Memphis, thinking we were maybe in their league, and they're just showing that we don't know anything about, or at least me. I don't know anything about basketball because they are shown to be an impressive force. They're only 5-3, but Ja Morant's showing to be a top player in this league, and
yeah,
it's seeming like there's no way that's freight engine is going to stop. So watch out. And Timberwolves is dropping below 500 after starting out 3-1. So seeing a little 3-loss streak.
Well, we got to figure out our problems here real quick, and regardless on if D'Angelo Russell is hurt for an extended period of time, hopefully it's not. It was just an ankle, right?
Well, and then we talked a little bit about some ideas at the 4 position, but maybe what they really got to be looking at is somebody who can play some point guard for him, because it seems like D'Lo plays half of every season, and I like J Mac at point guard for them. I've always liked his style, but it seems like less than, even though he played 29 minutes tonight, it seems like no, that's Jaden McDaniels. See, the thing is, we got 2 Jay McDaniels, but Jordan McLaughlin, 11 minutes tonight. He always seems to be a really impactful player, so it's hard to want to take him out of the rotation. But you want to see somebody at his level, because I feel like Pat Beverly's not. It's good to see him hyping up the team, but if he keeps playing like he has been, we need to get his minutes out to somebody who's going to be, more positive to the team.
It was nice to see Jalen Noel get in the game tonight, but yeah, I would have liked to have seen them call up McKinley Wright. He's on a 2-way contract. That's, if you need a point guard fill-in, it'd be nice to see what he could bring to the team because he did really good in the summer league, and he's a player that has something to prove. And he's from Minnesota, which would be fun to watch.
Yeah, well, I think I think there's probably a move they could make somewhere, but I guess I don't know where that is, for them to get some kind of low level contract, somebody to
Yeah.
challenge those minutes, like a true point guard type of player. But I can't even think of somebody who it could be. So who am I to judge?
I do like the idea of signing a free agent, and Isaiah Thomas comes to mind of a veteran guy who could come in here and make shots. Hopefully, I mean, if that's the type of low level sign you're looking for, I wouldn't mind trying it
Yeah, I don't
if
know about
D'Lo is
that.
going to be
I,
out for a
I
while.
you want to see somebody with maybe a little more defensive prowess too. So it's hard to come up with somebody who might be better. D'Lo's on a max contract, and we didn't have him out there tonight, so it's easy to look at this team and saying they're missing something big, but that's because something big was missing. So if this injury isn't a big deal, then we can go to the next game and reassess from there. But
Well,
yeah,
hopefully that the Clippers, cool off a little bit. I mean, the weather's cooling down. They came from the West Coast, so maybe their hot shooting is just gonna. It could snow by Friday.
yeah,
Cool their hot shooting off. Does that make sense?
seems like the Timberwolves have been playing a lot of home games, and that's gonna come back
End of
to,
this
bite
end of the
us
year is
pretty
gonna be
soon.
brutal.
Yeah, they're really playing all over the place, but maybe that's good. They shouldn't be in Minnesota all winter. Get them out of here. Let them have some fun.
Yeah. I mean, there will be better days. They obviously haven't found their shooting stroke and got to get healthy. Well, I feel like we said this before. Um, Man, it was a tough game to watch tonight. A tough game, fourth quarter against Orlando was so hard to watch. But I'm gonna keep watching, Kevin. Friday night's game against the Clippers. I'll be tuned in.
We'll try it again. See you
Yeah.
then.
Thanks for watching, everybody. That's all I got. You got anything else you want to say, Kevin?
Keep it real, America.
Keep it real. Go Wolves, everybody. Have a good one.